Her accolades are great. The watch list, everyone is checking to see what Aaliyah Boston will do, and her Gamecocks in town to take on the Florida Gators. 19-1 overall, and looks like we'll be re-tipping here again. 7-1 in conference play. On top of the standings, tied with Tennessee. And so no re-tip necessary.
South Carolina.
And the ball will be awarded to South Carolina. Coming off that win Thursday in a rescheduled game against Ole Miss. 29-point victory at home for the Gamecocks. The group averaging just about 72 points a game, and they love to see number 4, Aaliyah Boston, touch the ball. She's fighting for position with Jordan Merritt. Good defense. The switch, Zippy Broughton giving fits. The touch first by Boston, and then just throws it out of bounds. So good team defense by the Gators to start off.
Florida has terrific speed along the perimeter. We've talked about Kiki Smith as we take a look at their starting 5, but somebody to watch out for is Zippy Broughton. She's a transfer from Rutgers, but she's got the speed to guard Zia Cook, Destiny Henderson. The key is always going to be Aaliyah Boston, but they've got to contain dribble penetration too.
Rounding out the starting 5, Zia Cook along with Bree Bill and Destiny Henderson for the Gamecocks. Elite level talent for this group out of Columbia, South Carolina. Off the mark there, and Kiki Smith coming back the other way.
Something to watch for, Tiffany, for Florida offensively. They don't want to spend a lot of time in their half-court offense. They want to play with pace. They want to play with a sense of urgency, because it's tough to score against the South Carolina defensive lineup.
As we mentioned here, the South Carolina lineup, you'll see on the bottom of your screen, Victaria Saxton, who we didn't mention in that starting lineup. She is a player who is just phenomenal for this group, simply because she plays off of Aaliyah Boston. She does a lot of the dirty work, the details that sometimes go unnoticed. An unsung hero for this group. She's guarding Jordan Merritt. Good defense there, a lot of contact. No whistle, and back the other way come the Gamecocks. Zia Cook. Baseline spin move, and a foul whistled against Zippy Broughton, first of the game.
I thought that was a little bit of a foul on Saxton. Too much body against Jordan Merritt, but that's how quickly South Carolina is going to look to turn the page and push in tempo, and especially a player like Zia Cook. She's looking to score immediately.
Well, she had 4 points. All of them came from the free throw line in their last game. It was her first contest back since injuring her ankle against Arkansas back on January 16th. Kiki Smith, you saw over the last 2 games, 48 points. Nice dish off and dunk to Faith Dude, who can't finish it. Boston showing the handles, bringing the ball halfway up the court. Cook pulling up, rise and fire. Zia Cook gets South Carolina out to a 4-0 lead.
Now, she's had back-to-back games, Tiffany, just 4 points. So you had a feeling she was going to come out firing, be very aggressive offensively.
Broughton with a nice ball fake, tried to kiss it off the glass. Rims off.
I think Florida, Tiffany, just has to settle down. They're getting good looks. It's a big crowd, a lot of energy. You're facing the #1 team in the country.
This is a Gator team walking in with a lot of confidence, having knocked off number 11 LSU last Sunday. Fresh off a week of maintenance and housekeeping items for Kelly Ray Finley's group, and she feels like this is a team that has bought into the belief that they belong here, that they are enough to face the top teams in the country. The Gators searching for their first point, going right at Boston. And you see the presence, the rim protection of Aaliyah Boston. Gators now 0 for 6 from the field. Lots of contact. That was blocked.
They are letting them play, no doubt, today.
Time for Smith. Couldn't get it. Out in transition. the bounce pass, but turnover
Substitution for the Gators.
for South Carolina.
Florida, Tiffany, just they're 0 for 7 from the floor, but it's the 0 for 4 on layups. That is really hurting them. They had an opportunity. Faith Duke got in the game with the layup. She missed it. Zibby Broughton gets close. Those are opportunities you've got to execute on against the #1 team in the country.
Well, Kelly Ray Finley going to her bench, inserting Nina Ricards, Alberta Rimdahl, along with Weich. Talia Weich, and she comes down with the rebound. Second chance opportunity, and nothing going down in the bucket for the Gators, and somehow scrumming for that one was Boston. Her Gamecocks come up with it. And I'll tell you this, they are letting them play, but both teams getting good looks at the basket. Ball just not falling right now. Victoria Saxton called with the foul as Merritt went to the floor.
We'll see if Rimdahl can really get Florida going. She has had the hot hand for Florida. She's only missed 1 3 in her last 3 games. She's instant offense. There's been some nerves here for the Gators. Still unable to buy a bucket. Again, just settling down. And I'm sure at the media break, Kelly Ray Finley will have to remind her team.
Just 1 field goal so far with about 4 minutes gone by in the opening quarter from Gainesville. The foul on the floor before the shot.
Tiffany, what's amazing
Of
is
all
all
the contact,
of all
yeah.
the contact. They bumped Zaya Cook.
Brian Garland, Kevin Pathel, excuse me, and Teresa Stuck, our
The Rowdy
officiating
Reptiles
crew.
are going to let them know.
Oh, yeah. This South Carolina team just has so many ways that they can beat you. If they need to call on the 3, they can do it. They like to run their offense through Aaliyah Boston. Paint points big. Bree Beal with a good look from outside. And Florida has to find a way to heat up as that contested shot from Aaliyah Boston. Again, we talked about a great rim protector. She's the best in the business. And here, instead of going inside, she says, let me show you my outside game as she knocks down the triple.
That's her 11th 3 on the year, Tiffany, and that's where she's grown to. The ball handling, but also her ability to shoot the 3. It's going to be a foul on Florida.
It just feels like there's a lid on the bucket right now for the Gators. Well, tomorrow night, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass for the Arkansas men's basketball program at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then it's a look at the LSU women's team. You'll get to see never-before-seen footage, sound from players and coaches, and a real behind-the-scenes look right here only on the SEC Network. Well, the women's teams took the court in LSU and Arkansas, and how about that surprise or upset, if you will, as Arkansas downing the Tigers 90-76.
That's a big win for Arkansas and Mike Neighbors, a real signature win. As everyone's vying for seeding and positioning not only for the SEC tournament, but the NCAA tournament.
Letitia Ami here, who just checks into the ball game, and you see her 6'4" frame and ranginess around the basket, able to get another bucket, and that's the first one that drops for Florida. Kiki Smith delivering as she has done time and time again, coming off of back-to-back 20-point games.
You can see 2 players in the paint, 3 players now for Florida, eyeing Aaliyah Boston.
That one really deflected and stolen away by Smith. Under 10 to go on the shot clock. And me here working on Manu, and the offensive foul called against the Gamecocks. So a 9-2 start for the #1 team in the country. Will come right back to Gainesville. Back here at Exact Tech Arena, it's the South Carolina Gamecocks with a 9-2 lead early on in this one. But I'll tell you, Steffi, this is a fan base here in Gainesville that is pumped up, and they're trying to knock off Dawn Staley's crew, the Hall of Fame coach who has done a fantastic job building the program. She helped to turn it around, and now they are the hunted season in and season out. 6 of the last SEC tournament titles belong to the Gamecocks, and we talked about how they mowed down ranked opponents throughout the season.
You want to talk about tested? You know, South Carolina, and I think the goal for them night in, night out, they just want to win. No matter if it's a high-scoring game, low-scoring game, a knockdown, drag-out, high energy, no matter what. They just want to win, and that's what they've done this year. And, you know, the job that Dawn Staley has done, we've got to talk about this because the amount of talent that is on that roster, she's got to, it's almost like ego management. I'm not saying players are out there with big egos, but everybody wants to get out on the court. How do you leave out McDonald's All-Americans that are coming in, but they're playing behind Aaliyah Boston, Zia Cook, Destiny Henderson? It's a juggle, but Dawn Staley has a tremendous feel for this team.
And that was part of the conversation that we had with her before the game. You know, you kind of asked the question, well, how do you keep everyone engaged? And she's had to figure out rotations. As we see Lily Grissett on the court for the first time, she checks in, and finding pieces like that in parts of the game where lineups can work. Boston asking for it, but Manu was right there to anticipate it, the theft, and then finds Kiki Smith, who wisely dribbles it back out, going against the taller Boston, but trying to take the shot. The fearless shot by Smith, and then a foul called. I'll tell you, they were swarming Aaliyah Boston on the other end as we go back and look at it.
Well, that was the scout, right? But it starts with the ball pressure. And Kiki Smith has done a really nice job so far in this game of disrupting and making sure that it's not just an easy pass into Aaliyah Boston. Because a lot of times you're so caught up in where am I in help side, or I got to get and make sure I'm near Aaliyah Boston. But if you put pressure on the ball handler, they're not able to get it into Boston.
The foul against Abhi here.
And this is what I'm talking about, Tiffany. Watch the number of bodies that are trying to defend and disrupt Aaliyah Boston. That's 3. That's on every possession she sees.
So the Gamecocks at the free throw line for the remainder of the quarter. And here, and Cook surrounding Manu. And after we saw this game kind of be wide open and loose, now they're calling it a little bit tighter now.
Just trying to, you know, they let it get away from them there in the first 5 minutes, so trying to clean it up a little bit. But if you're Florida trying to break the press against South Carolina, you don't want to over dribble. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. So they got to play the sidelines, look to pass versus dribbling.
Manu behind the back, the take, and too strong. Amhi here, the junior out of Ontario, Canada, and a carrying violation, so the Gamecocks hand it right back over. Well, both teams have not taken care of the basketball, specifically South Carolina, I should say. 5th turnover of this first quarter. Where you see just how lopsided this series has been, with South Carolina winning 13 straight against the Florida Gators. Broughton on the inbound. Manu tried to get it right back to her, and Grissett comes up with it. Loses the handle. As Bree Hall, who's on the floor now for the Gamecocks, the true freshman, helps the Gamecocks retain the possession. And then a tussle inside. with Fate Duke. And Aaliyah Boston whistle on Duke.
That's her first. Substitution for
I was watching Florida practice yesterday, and they were obviously scouting South Carolina and going over some of the plays, but it's really hard to simulate what Aaliyah Boston brings to the table. I mean, they had guys in there, but the way that Aaliyah Boston, what she does, what she demands, but also her ability to hit the three and how good of a passer she is, it's really tough to go against that in practice. And so you see Faith Duke picking up the foul. She's just trying to keep Aaliyah Boston out of the paint, but you can't shove her.
And I think it speaks to what you mentioned earlier with Dawn Staley talking about that generational talent, how she's been able to expand her game each season. You come in as the overall consensus national freshman of the year. You rack up defensive honors as well. That is a tough guard no matter what, no matter if you prepare for it or not. Meanwhile, Kelly Rae Finley has put a lot of different bodies in to try to find some offense. Jordan Merritt can help them get it going, but right now they are ice cold from the field. 1 of 18.
Yeah, 6%, Tiff. I mean, but to only be down by 10 points against the #1 team in the country, they're going to start hitting some shots. They've just been a little bit too rattled to start this game. South Carolina, I mean, they're only shooting 33%. They've kind of held Boston in check a little bit and forced some turnovers. So you can see Kelly Rae getting in to her team, just reminding them to believe and to settle down. Their backs have been against the wall the entire season, and she has been the steady hand to kind of keep this team believing in the fact that they can do it and that they're enough.
I like what you mentioned there, because she mentioned that earlier in the week, especially after that LSU win, and an interim head coach here taking over, and look who she's talking to, the old ball coach in Steve Spurrier before the game. He's in the building,
He knows a thing or two about winning.
National championships. Yeah, he's a dude. But Kelly Rae Finley, I think we have to go back and just mention the job that she has done with this group 4 seasons prior with the previous coaching staff, assumed the job within turmoil and kind of that cloud of controversy with the exit of Cam Newbauer. And then what has she done? She's just had everyone draw to her, it seems. Players have talked so glowingly about her. And she said, well, one of the things that has made me most proud, or the greatest thanks that I can get, is that they are grateful. Grateful that they want to provide an experience for her that is memorable. And they're doing something great here thus far.
And you can see with the turnout that it is all-encompassing. And she was raised on the principle of be all in or be all out. And the team is clearly all in. They got to find some offense, Tiff. Just 2 points in this first quarter. That is very unlike the Gators, who've done a really nice job offensively this season.
Being patient on the offensive end. Bree Hall drives to the bucket, lays and floats it up.
And she's out there because she plays hard every possession. That's why she gets out there on the court.
Back the other way, and I think one of the things that Kelly Rae Finley talked to her group about is being in awe of the name on the jersey. She said, look, no room, no time for that right now. Just cannot buy a bucket. South Carolina looking to stretch out their already double-digit lead. And too strong. However, bailed out by the foul on the backside by Zippy Broughton.
And that's where South Carolina, I've said this before, they go too deep at every position. And that's not something you see really in college basketball. But Aaliyah Boston goes out. Aaliyah Boston, 6'5". They bring in Camila Cardozo, 6'7", Syracuse transfer. It's not fair. It's not fair.
the spoil of riches for Dawn Staley, but done a masterful job. And again, trying to feed all the different mouths of the top talent that they've experienced this season. Correction there, that foul was against Faith Dute, her second. So she's on the bench. Merritt, Broughton, Smith, Ricards, and Weich on the floor.
See if Jordan Merritt can do something, Tiffany. I mean, she's that stretch four. She can shoot the three. She's really had the hot hand for Florida.
Well, we've seen Merritt, Broughton, Smith all raise their game in SEC play. And Smith going at the 6'7" Cardozo. That one ends up somewhere far away from Smith. As she's fouled, she'll go to the line for two.
Well, Kiki Smith is fearless, and she's going to go right at her opponent, no matter the size, 6'7", 6'5". She's seen it all. Like, she's a veteran for Florida, so she knows to go right at the body of Kamilla Cardozo.
And right now, there is just seemingly no luck for Florida. 0 for 3 from the free throw line. And that's the first one knocked down, just the third point of the quarter. Number 1, South Carolina on the road looking to notch another win.
Got a box out here on this possession. It's not always the first for South Carolina, it's the second.
Boston picks up the dribble, finds a wide open Destiny Henderson, who knocks down the tray ball. So Henderson and the Gamecocks finish the quarter with 4 straight field goals. They stretch out the lead 19-3.
Something you practice every day, and they've got so many deterrents out on the floor. And it starts obviously with Boston, and then when Kamilla Cardozo comes in too, and then LA, Letitia Meaher.
Held the Gators to 3 points, tied for the fewest in a quarter this season. Well, I'll tell you this, you think about the number 1 scoring defense going right at Aaliyah Boston. We've seen the Gators not be afraid to go up and try to take those contested shots. This one falls for Merritt and the Gators. Cook, spin move, body control, and rims off. Broughton thought about it. Smith back to Broughton. Broughton elevates. And Sanaya Rivers whistle for the foul.
This has to build confidence for Florida because back-to-back possessions, they're getting to the free throw line or they're scoring. They run this play, pick and roll. You got Merritt who can pick and pop, or she has the length to get to the rim, but there you saw confidence, no hesitation. You set the screen and she goes right at Boston. I think Kelly Rae Finley just probably had some words of encouragement with her ball club.
Is that how you want to put it? Words of encouragement?
So her sister is a sports psychologist. She played at Harvard, so it's not like she doesn't know a thing or two of how to talk to her team and get them to believe, but she's got that as a reference.
Diving to the floor, and it still stays with South Carolina. Meanwhile, when you see the reaction of Dawn Staley on the other side,
the scowl.
The scowl, but the passion. She was yelling out a thing or two. Representing PIHL Philadelphia. Let me just go. I was going to try to say something cool.
She always looks cool.
Yeah, she is cool. So she is cool, and that was a cool basket there by Sanaya Rivers.
Rivers has got a lot of upside. I mean, she played terrific against Ole Miss. To my knowledge, she is the best dunker on the team.
How about this? Great defense, active hands from Aaliyah Boston, standing tall, and then back the other way. An easy 2 for LA. When you watch this South Carolina team, yes, they have all of the accolades, but this is a group that has experience, right? You have a freshman class that comes in and does amazing things, and then boom, it's cut short because of the pandemic. And then they come back and they come up short in their bid for a second national title for South Carolina. But this season, it feels like they play at a different gear. They're playing against themselves night in and night out.
Think about some of the freshmen on the team, Rivers. You talked about Bree Hall. They're going against Destiny Henderson, Zai Cook in practice. That's where they're getting better. And so when they take the court, they can really utilize the experience they're drawing from practice against the veteran players. How about Aaliyah Boston? The footwork. For me, it's always the footwork.
The junior forward, or center rather, out of St. Thomas, and Kiki Smith with the bucket and answering back the other way. But let's just gush over Aaliyah Boston for a second, right? Because she comes in with 13 straight double-doubles, and you eyed something of how quickly she has gotten those double-doubles. Let me tell you your numbers right now. 6 points, 7 rebounds thus far.
I'm telling you, she's getting double-doubles in the first half. We need to ask their SID, Diana. She could get us those numbers, but you know, the footwork, she came in as a really good player. She had terrific skill around the rim, but her ability to take contact, find out where she can score at an efficient level. Look, I know I was a guard, but I have so much appreciation for bigs because of just how much work they got to put in and really hone their craft to be as good as they are. And Aaliyah Boston has done that year after year.
She really worked hard on improving her game, but she shares the court, as we can't stop mentioning, with McDonald's All-American like Zia Cook. Off the mark there. The hesitation and blocked by Aaliyah Boston. Ami here loses the handle, ends up with the Gators. Rimdahl had a wide open Christina Moore on the perimeter. Rimdahl, you talked about just how good she's been from outside. One of the hottest hands for the Gators. Still scoreless here. Merritt leading the way with 5 points.
A good-looking move from Merritt. Just a sophomore now. She's going to continue to get better and clapped her hands. No, she wants to get another play.
South Carolina shooting 50% from the floor. Also hit 2 or 4 from deep. Well, just moments ago, we saw Aaliyah Boston with the block. As you mentioned, Steffi, South Carolina leading the country in blocks per game.
She's such a good anticipator, and she knows Kiki Smith. She knows her game. She knows she wants to go left. She wants to finish left-handed. But she keeps the distance between the two of them to just get the block and avoid the foul. And I think something that's also been really impressive about Boston this year, she hasn't fouled out of the game. She's stayed on the floor. She's in the best shape of her life. It's not a coincidence. Those two go hand in hand.
Right now, Florida has to find a way to get points on the board. Held to 3 in that first quarter. They've doubled that point total here, and now a traveling violation going against the home team.
Well, one thing that they practiced yesterday, Tiffany, was bringing Boston and some of the bigs out of the paint so they can't block shots. You want to make them guard northwest, north-south, east-west. But that hasn't necessarily been true for the Gators. I got to do a little bit better job of bringing the bigs out, making them pay.
Henderson misses the 3. Boston skying for that rebound. She wins it. Victoria Saxton finds Beal. A lot of hustle on the floor. We've seen a lot of contact.
It's been a frantic pace,
it has
right?
Been.
Florida trying to slow it down just a little bit, run some half-court offense.
Losing it. Here comes South Carolina. Sanaya Rivers. And the easy lay in the extension of Rivers. 6'1" frame out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Rimdahl's not looking to shoot either. And she's still getting her feet wet in the SEC, but she's got to look for her shot. Okay, freshman.
Well, White, who plays on the Gators with her twin sister, Tatiana, a lefty who's physical, and her interim head coach says, look, she's going to be a shining star in the future. Henderson finds Beal, wide open look. Henderson battling for the rebound and comes up with it. Offensive rebounds, that's exactly what South Carolina can beat you at. The best rebounding team, one of the best rebounding teams in the conference. Boston with the moves, and how does she do it? I like the way you move, Aaliyah Boston.
I see you on the Outcast reference, but just a thing of beauty to watch her move in the paint.
We can keep that theme going if you want. 8 points, 10 rebounds for Aaliyah Boston. Closing in on yet another double-double. Christina Moore, one of the steady seniors on the court along with Kiki Smith missing there. Offensive rebound. Another try at it for the Gators. Bodies hitting the floor, a lot of pushing and shoving. And a timeout taken on the court will step aside as well. 3:33 remaining in the first half.
All right.
She did the transformation that she went through to be well-conditioned, shed some LBs, and really came back with a laser-sharp focus because she's made it clear that she wants to be the best. And she's showing why here today. Jordan Merritt knocking down the first of 2 free throws.
Well, Florida has shown a resiliency, a level of fight all season long. It's not like the game is away from them because they've climbed and fought back into a lot of the games that they ended up winning, right? But clearly they got hit first.
Yeah.
So they're taking that punch. I'm looking for the next 3.5 minutes, some stops, some scores, build that confidence, cut the lead in going into the half.
The beauty of this South Carolina team is not only the starters who have made an impact, but also those coming off the bench like Sanaya Rivers, and Rivers off the mark there.
Did you like how I told you about Rivers being the best dunker on the team?
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
did, yeah.
Rivers.
So real springy, huh? Hops. Oh, well, coming in, we knew that she was a superb athlete, number 3 overall recruit in the class of 2021. And Boston, who's been efficient from the floor, her first miss of the afternoon.
Well, this has been a physical game, Tiffany. I mean, every single possession, there's bodies everywhere. And both these teams are physical. That was one of Kaylee Ray's points coming into the game, was match their physicality. And I think that Florida has. They just haven't been putting the ball in the hole. And that's been the biggest difference to me.
That was one of the things that she mentioned about the White twins, of how their presence in practice, even in true freshman fashion, they've been able to body players up, give them different looks, and making it difficult in practice. Back-to-back misses by Boston as Merritt hits the hardwood.
South Carolina number 20, Sanaya Baby. That's her first. Team Florida. Florida basketball.
Well, when you're South Carolina, you know that you're going to try to get everybody, you're going to receive everybody's best. You sense something is unique and different about this group, this team, this season. Beal coming down with the rebound. Beal saying, I'm going to try to take it all the way, off the miss, and Fagan is fouled. Friday, our gymnastics doubleheader starts with number 4 Florida in Columbia. That's Como, by the way, taking on Missouri at 7 p.m. 6 Central. Then we'll have the tri-meet between number 25 North Carolina and number 18 Western Michigan, along with Number 9, Alabama at Coleman Coliseum right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Dawn Staley's group has controlled the entire way and looking sharp in the first half. Meanwhile, Florida searching for their first bucket in more than 3 minutes. And that one just pops out. Here's Rivers with the spin move. And an offensive foul called against Rivers. That's her second. Does she push off Steffi?
See how she extends that left arm? I understand the call.
Yeah. Numbers flopped on the scoreboard. Zippy Broughton working against Bree Beal. Bree Beal, a terrific defender. Trying to dump it inside to Merritt coming from behind. And again, you talked about that containment defense. The dropping low was Hall to help out Boston on that last attempt by Florida.
Florida is getting the looks that they want, that they practice. They're 3 of 17 for layups. You can't do that against the #1 team in the country, but you have to credit, South Carolina. They're waiting. They're chomping at the bit, knowing that the pick and roll's coming and the post players diving. They know it. They know it, and that's the scouting that Dawn and her staff does. And I think just in the heads of the Gators team, and it's not just Florida. It's every team that South Carolina goes up against. I mean, it's the reason why they're the #1 shot blocking team in the country. That's what they do. Their guards are going to send you into the paint and then wait.
Final minute of the first half in Gainesville. And it's Florida basketball after the miss. Largest lead of the ball game for top-ranked South Carolina. As the always cool yet fashionable Dawn Staley.
I didn't know clogs could be cool, but
oh yeah. If she's
somehow
wearing them, she makes them cool. You know what I'm saying? It's style, fresh, you own it. For Tonders over to Kiki Smith. Smith, who's been held at bay, just 5 points on 2 of 9 shooting.
So you're telling me if I wear those the next game, you're gonna be like, Steffi, you look good. I don't know if I can afford those shoes.
I can't say that I would say that, but
we'll see.
We'll see. Dawn Staley says ain't nobody dope as me. So fresh and so clean. Aaliyah Boston off the miss, but the putback on the O board and counted for Fagan. For the Gamecocks, how Victoria Saxton is a difference maker on the inside. Bree Beal, a great defender. All systems go with Destiny Henderson and Zaya Cook, an excellent creator with the basketball. The take right in at number 4 in Boston and off the mark. Meanwhile, back in transition, and there's Zaya Cook. Cook, who...
That was 5 seconds, Tiffany, from the block to the layup. That's how quickly South Carolina gets out in transition.
12-0 in favor of South Carolina for fast break points. Zippy Broughton saw a shot, good look, couldn't knock it down. We saw Destiny Henderson knock down a 3-ball back in that first half, but they dump it inside and kick it back out to Zaya Cook. Cook for 3, and it won't fall. Boston lays it around the rim and count it. Aaliyah Boston now with her 14th straight double-double of the season. That dates back to non-conference play against North Carolina A&T starting on November 29th. She's closing in on Sylvia Fowles' SEC record over the last 20 years No one has put up more than fouls, which was 19 for LSU back in the day. Kiki Smith. And that one was wet off the hands of Kiki Smith, and that's what the Gators want to see more of.
Well, they need to start hitting some mid-range jumpers. Instead of going all the way to the basket, you're going to have to pull up.
Cook finds Boston, guarded by Duke. Victoria Saxton getting position, and that one goes in the left hand. So a couple of favorable rolls for the visiting Gamecocks. Merritt picks it up over to Broughton. Broughton elevates, and that was a tough shot contested by Saxton. Zia Cook thought about it, says she's going to attack the rim like she did against Kentucky, and just rims off. Ricard's back the other way.
Okay.
And a nice little acceleration there and around the rim protector. It goes down. Traveling violation called against the Gamecocks. Quick opportunity to tell you that Wednesday is men's college basketball as number 12 Kentucky plays host to the Vanderbilt Commodores. Our coverage of that game starts at 7 right here on the SEC Network and ESPN app. How about that game in Lawrence, that Big 12 SEC Challenge with Kentucky coming out?
All those games. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in front of my TV watching all of them.
Rimdahl, and the three won't fall. Saxton back the other way in transition, and I'll tell you this, South Carolina coming out of the locker room, picking up where they left off from that second quarter. Jariah Warren seeing her first minutes of the game on the floor. Smith being guarded by Beal, tough pass, and turned over.
Florida has a lot of wasted dribbles right now. They are looking to drive or create, but it ends up being just for no reason. So I'd like to see them have a little bit more of a sense of urgency. Where am I trying to get? And make it more succinct.
Boston kicks it back out. Henderson calling the shots right now. Senior out of Fort Myers, Florida. The reverse, and she's fouled as she tries to lay it up. Well, Destiny Henderson will go to the free throw line, and she's just one of those players who I enjoy watching the speed with which she plays, yet the control that she has going at that high pace.
Well, they call her Henny, right? But Henny plays with a Hemi.
I like that.
She does.
You know, I used to sell trucks, so, you know, Hemis had 345 horsepower, 375 pounds of torque. Well, she's got that horsepower for sure.
It's V8 at the minimum, okay?
And a lopsided lead for top-ranked South Carolina coming in winners of 7 straight. And here's the deal. Kiki Smith, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast how important she is. She is the motor that makes this Gator car go. And she's been held in check with just 4 points. And not only that, you know, we haven't mentioned yet that Lavender Briggs out for the season and has decided to enter the transfer portal as well. Yet this Gators team has thrived. Winners of their last 5.
Yeah, Lavender Briggs headed to Maryland. She was battling a foot injury, decided to go into the portal in the middle of the season. And the Gators just have kind of gotten closer, have bonded, and have just willed their way to games. Unfortunately today, they're going up against the best team in the country. And the #1 team in the country will highlight your weaknesses very easily. And Florida does not have a big that is a really true post threat. And so they're getting good looks, but unable to establish an interior presence has hurt the guards along the perimeter.
Plus 14 on fast break points. They've doubled that total for points in the paint. Those are areas and ways in which South Carolina scores and hurts you. Smith, the long two for Kiki Smith. That jump shot has come back better and improved. And battling for that one just out of the hands of White. Beal never stopped going to get it. Six to go on the shot clock.
Around for the basketball. Timeout.
Well, there's Deborah and Keith Smith, the proud parents of Kiki Smith, and she was able to drain that last bucket for the Gators here on Alumni.
Night in, night out, knowing you're going to get an opponent's best shot, and to keep them hungry. You know, she always seems to pick point, you know, like get her team ready to go. And they've delivered.
That's what's been so cool to see as Jariah Warren knocks down the three. But going back to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina too, you know, they pulled out all types of wins, especially, you know, they were surprised and shocked by Missouri in that upset, their only loss of the conference season, but they won in blowouts like at Ole Miss, and they had those grind-out victories against LSU, or we saw earlier in the year, coming back from 18 points down to beat Stanford.
Gamecocks basketball.
Henderson on the handoff from Cardoza. No good. Ricards going all the way. And Tonders bringing down the board. Kicks it out. And Kiki Smith finds Manu. Can't go for the Brazilian. Cook stops, picks up her dribble. And coming way out to guard Destiny Henderson, one of the toughest defenders, and Kiki Smith as she's whistled for the foul.
I love the matchup. You think about senior guarding senior, the engine of each team. See what I did there?
Yes, I did. we are playing off of these
we got
references.
that.
I love it, Steffi. Come on now, partner. Come through, partner.
I think Destiny Henderson is such a great story for all college athletes, waiting your turn. You know, she sat behind Ty Harris, who is in the WNBA now and competing and was a terrific point guard, but she waited. She learned her moment's now.
A blocking foul going against the Gators and Manu. Well, Friday, our gymnastics doubleheader starts with Florida and Columbia taking on Missouri at 7. Then you'll have the tri-meet between North Carolina, Western Michigan, and Alabama. All ranked teams. You can catch it right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app this Friday. I think it goes back to just how appropriate it is then the anything's possible. You know, she has a line out, she sells clothes, but she also is a good indicator of, yes, anything is possible. When you wait your turn, you continue to work hard and be prepared when your moment comes. Good defense, hands, and Kiki Smith is there to help the Gators capitalize.
You know, the men's team yesterday fought all the way back against Oklahoma State. Do the Gators have enough runs in them? It's got to start with stops.
Saxton, tough angle there on that reverse layup. Trying to chip away at this large lead. Really got behind the gun after that first quarter, and Kiki Smith was left wide open, and you can't do that because she made the Gamecocks pay.
Well, she's looking to score. That's the difference here in this third quarter, Tiffany. She's looking for her shot.
The Gators going toe-to-toe with the top-ranked team here in the third quarter, as they both have put up 13 apiece, stolen by Warren. And Warren on the tape, and yes!
See, no timeout from Dawn. Wants her team to play through the run.
Florida has scored the last 6 points. Cardozo trying to quiet the crowd, and she does. You think back to just how this bench has come into play time in and time out, and Cardozo was the one to try to slow down the Gators, but Kiki Smith saying she's keeping her foot on the gas.
You know what's so impressive, too, is she's putting full court pressure on Destiny Henderson on defense. Then she's making shots on offense. The amount of energy it requires to pick up full court and then deliver on the offensive side of the floor, much respect.
Henderson using some clock. Under 4 on the shot clock. Back to Saxton, free throw line, jumper won't fall. Cardozo, the 6'7" center, able to tap it back out. So that second chance opportunity allows South Carolina to hold for the final shot, but the whistle on the floor and an offensive foul called against Cardozo.
Definitely displaces her there, Tiff. Dawn,
Giving
disagreement?
the official an earful about how she feels about it. So now Gators can take the last shot of what has been a rejuvenated third quarter for the home team, and it ends at the buzzer with a floater from Kiki Smith.
Things heating up here in Gainesville, led by their defense in that third quarter, outscoring South Carolina 19-15. Easy buckets, you need them. Who else do you need? Kiki Smith stepping up big time here in the third quarter. She's got 17. The Gators crawling.
Third quarter, which was a terrific turnaround from what we saw to start this ball game for Florida. And then the active play of Kiki Smith, who's top 20 in the country in steals, was trying to notch another one.
And Kiki Smith, though, is, she wants to play at the next level. She wants to make an impact, have an opportunity with the WNBA team. And this is an awesome showing in terms of, everyone's watching this game and the talent that's on the floor. You got to put your best foot forward against the best team in the country. We're seeing that now in the second half. It's taken her a little bit to get warmed up, but now we're seeing Kiki Smith play.
And when we talked with Kelly Rae Finley earlier this week, she said, look, it is disrespectful that Kiki Smith is not on anybody's watch list for the way that she has played this season. We have a chance to make a big statement against the best team in the country.
I thought it was going to be on Christina Moore. I mean, there's been several times they're just trying to clear out South Carolina to get a defensive rebound, but you can't shove. And unfortunately for Christina Moore, you can't do that.
Lily Grissett taking it to the body of Moore. So she cleans up that mistake by taking the charge.
Stringing the stops and scores together for the Gators that continue to chip away at this lead. Now they got to play with a sense of urgency, but can't be too frantic on offense.
Forcing it in there to Jordan Merritt, and Merritt with the bucket.
That's the benefit of having someone like Jordan Merritt. Look, she's a 6'3" sophomore, but she's that hybrid 3-4 player. So she has mismatches. Sometimes she's guarded by guards, sometimes by posts. She's getting better at reading defenses. but she's gonna be really good. She's having a breakout year for the Gators.
She completes the three-point play. And the Gamecocks, who led by as many as 28, have awakened the Gator fans inside Exactech Arena. Florida trailing by 13. Boston against the double team. And it'll be South Carolina basketball with 7 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Well, the scout against Leah Boston, wall up and swarm her. So here comes Merritt. They keep their hands pretty straight up, and that's how you're gonna have. That's how you defend Leah when she turns, looking to score.
Reset, crossover, finds the shot that she likes, won't go. The southpaw kicks it over to Merritt. Merritt for three, off the mark. Chasing down that rebound, Ricards couldn't get to it in time. It's South Carolina basketball. Boston held to just 2 points in this second half so far. They go to their All-American, and she's fouled.
Leah Boston draws so much attention defensively. 1, 2, 3 Gator players trying to defend her. Again, you got 2 at help side. Ball pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4 players trying to swarm her, deter her from getting to the rim. That's what it takes, a team effort. This is the best player in the country. You ain't gonna beat her one-on-one. You need 4.
Well, Boston, this is her day at the office. Thus far, 11 points, a dozen rebounds, and bump up that point total another point.
If Merritt could hit a 3 or someone for Florida gets a perimeter 3, this place will go crazy and it'll give them a shot of adrenaline that they need.
Blocked by Boston. Boston says, office closed when you come around my way. Beal looking for Boston. She puts it on the deck. And South Carolina not able to hit a bucket so far in this quarter. Smith, nice bounce pass to Tonders. Tonders with a gimme right there, couldn't finish it off. Henderson going full speed ahead. Zia Cook, yes ma'am! Zia Cook knocking down the 3 ball. Coming right back the other way, Kiki Smith. Smith now with 19 points.
You got to find Boston, yeah. Christina Moore doing everything in her power to try and prevent Boston from getting the ball, but clearly a mismatch, and they get it to her quickly.
What's so dangerous about the South Carolina team is, yes, Leah Boston is expecting that double team. She has faced a little bit of everything, but it's the fact that you can't nap on literally anybody else who is on the court for South Carolina, especially in their starting 5. Among the starters, Beal, Henderson, Cook, Boston on the court, joined by Letitia Amihere. And Boston drawing the contact, will go to the line.
Well, the things that Dawn Staley talks to this team about is nobody has what we have. but you don't win unless everybody buys in. And when you have a team with 15 players on the roster, 11 of those are McDonald's All-Americans, you got the best player in the country in Aaliyah Boston. There's not a total buy-in. There's egos, there's selfishness, all that. It can deter and deteriorate your team. And you can see the product on the floor with South Carolina, and the way that they perform this year is that there is buy-in from everybody that has joined the roster.
Bree Beal comes down with the rebound, and again, a terrific rebounding team. That's what South Carolina does so well. They've out-rebounded everybody this season, 43-22, no different this afternoon. And Kelly Rae Finley and the Gator faithful not pleased with that last call on the floor. It goes against Warren. Very inspired crowd inside Exact Tech Arena.
Let people know.
You mentioned Florida's knocked off 3 ranked opponents in their last 5 wins, Texas A&M, Kentucky, and LSU. But these are sounds that come familiar to South Carolina no matter what arena they're playing in. Smith, who's been booming this second half, leads all scorers with 19. Here's Zippy Broughton. We'll see if she can get going. Yes, ma'am. So Broughton, just her first field goal of the game, 4th point overall. Boston on the tape. And an offensive foul. The basket is waved off.
How about the minutes that Warren has come in and given Kelly Rae Finley? Drawing the charge, 5 points. That's a freight train too coming at you. You know, you got to step in front and take that charge.
Tough shot for Jordan Merritt. Here, mailed it. Zia Cook.
Speed on speed, Zippy Broughton. Zia Cook, 2 of the quickest players with the ball in their hands.
Cook was waiting for it. Got to get moving. Cook does. And how about the dirty work that Bree Beal is doing on the offside? It's a conversation we had coming into this game about the importance of a player like Bree Beal to this South Carolina team. Yes, all of that talent, but the unselfishness. Paying attention to those details, doing that dirty work. And Bree Beal will shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Well, thinking back to all the teams that have been really good throughout the years, you can always go and circle a couple players on that roster. When they came in, they did everything they could to make a difference. It might not have been points, it might not have been rebounding, but it's the glue. And South Carolina has several players like that. Bree Beal, Victoria Saxton. Is it Elmer's?
Elmer's glue, I like that. And again, the rebounding prowess of South Carolina has been outstanding here today. Aaliyah Boston with 16 and 4:57 remaining. And even up big, Dawn Staley still rubbing her head. Top-notch defender in Bree Beal, a junior out of Rock Island, Illinois. Came to this program as Illinois Miss Basketball. McDonald's All-American, and here she is guarding Kiki Smith, going to try to make it difficult for her in the remaining minutes of this ball game, and rolled out as that attempt from Zippy Broughton.
Jump ball, Florida basketball.
Well, you heard that crowd throughout this broadcast, largest crowd this season, and actually largest since the Gators faced off against a Pat Summitt team back in 1999. Better than 5,000 plus inside Exact Tech Arena. talked about the renewed sense of energy here behind this Gators basketball program that is celebrating 50 years of women's athletics.
And Florida's been such a good story this year, and the fact that they had won 5 in a row, beat 3 ranked teams, playing themselves perhaps into the NCAA tournament. You know, fans in the area wanted to come out and support and show, you know, just how proud they are of what they've been able to do. They probably get a sneak peek at the #1 team in the country, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, this is your measuring stick, right? I mean, you get an opportunity to go against the best of the best, really game in and game out in the Southeastern Conference, and flip that one, and circus shot in for Zippy Broughton.
Zip with the flip, girl.
Yeah.
We're just trying to have fun. Come on.
Indeed, indeed. We're just having fun watching South Carolina be dominant. At the same time, watching the fight from Florida. How could you not love it?
Zippy, speed is her middle name, but I love the versatility she gets around the rim. Pretty play from the Rutgers transfer. Zip with the flip.
Carolina, top-ranked team, has led the entire way. Well, we'll remind you that Wednesday is a men's college basketball game as number 12 Kentucky plays host to the Vanderbilt Commodores. Jerry Stackhouse-led team. Our coverage of the game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Well, Dawn Staley, the personality, the accomplishment that she has had throughout her career, 159 wins, joining a very impressive list for most SEC wins with Andy Landers and, of course, the great Pat Summitt. And just the way that she has taken women's basketball to another level and just soaring, ascending to even higher heights. But she's also done so by being wise about when she takes timeouts, right, Steffi?
Well, you know, she wants to keep this team locked in, engaged, and you can never let them feel too good, right? You want to keep them right on the edge of their seats. Hey, we're not playing right. I'm going to call the timeout. Let's regroup. So I think there's always teaching moments, and that's what the greats do. And, you know, one thing about Dawn Staley is just her time and her energy to give back, to grow the game. You think about the big contract that she signed in the offseason and about equity, and you know, she promotes all of women's college basketball, not just her program, which has has certainly emerged as a national brand, but all of women's college basketball.
Naismith Memorial Hall of Famer. And talk about that deal, 7 years, $22.4 million, helping to level the playing field, and obviously wildly successful before taking over this South Carolina program. 4-time Olympic gold medalist, helped lead Team USA to their 7th straight gold medal as the head coach of Team USA. Started her career as a head coach at Temple before coming over here, 14 seasons now with South Carolina. And you asked this question, and you referenced it earlier, just about the feel that she has for the game of basketball.
You got to be in tune, you know, with your team, especially when you're juggling the amount of talent, right? No one feels sorry for South Carolina for how much talent they have on the floor, but it doesn't come without its own challenges and keeping everybody happy. And we've seen the portal be such an instant gratification thing for a player who's unhappy, doesn't see playing time. They jet, right? So that's always in the back of a player's head. But as a coach, keeping everybody in tune and happy, but winning. I mean, that's a juggle.
And one of the things that she has made very clear in talking about when she goes into households and recruiting players, she never promises starting time or playing time. You've got to earn that. Henderson being pressured near half court, and the turnover forced by Florida. Broughton on the take. Boston coming in for the rebound. her 17th of the game. Great pass and look up ahead, and just the bunny missed from Zia Cook. And Smith can't get the easy lay-in.
South Carolina basketball.
I can't tell the audience at home enough how physical, Tiffany, this game has been. I mean, every possession, somebody has been either thrown or hit or dropped to the floor. Just a matter of just the physical nature of each player out on the court.
The previous play is under review.
Previous play is under review.
So they're going to review. We'll wait to get clarification on what exactly they are reviewing. I'm being told it's who last touched the ball. Let's see who it last goes off of. And it looks like
As a review, the ruling on the court stands as a no-call incidental contact.
we're corrected there in terms of what they were reviewing, now that we got that cleared up. Well, Kelly Rae Finley, who's still somehow got a smile on her face, but she's seen, again, the resiliency of this Florida Gator team, probably baffled by some of the calls that she's seen here today. Baseball pass to Lily Grissett, stolen by Ricards. Broughton not expecting it, so South Carolina gets it right back. Henderson finds Boston, who looks over to Cook. Cook eyeing that three. And here comes Zippy Broughton. Pull up three in transition. Yes! Under 2 minutes to go, trailing by 13. Aaliyah Boston able to bring the ball up the floor.
She is a part of their press break.
Yeah.
I mean, she will get the ball down the court and then look to pick and roll, even pick to pop.
Gamecocks offense has gone silent for the last 5.5 minutes. Saved inbounds, and here come the Gators. Broughton, he checked.
South Carolina basketball.
And she says, that's my bad. Not the shot that she won, even though I know she felt like she was in rhythm.
Hey, been there. One more pass, though, to the right. You had Kiki Smith freed up along the perimeter. But sometimes coming off a basket, you knock it down, you're feeling good, you're in rhythm. And that's too easy of a look for South Carolina. The Gators fortunate there with just a minute left. But Tiffany, we have to give credit to Florida, the way that they have really been fighting here in this fourth quarter, haven't hung their hat.
Substitution for the Gators.
Getting some loose balls, just hustle plays, trying to stall things for South Carolina offensively.
Well, again, they come out cold as ice to start this game, and yet they've outscored South Carolina in this second half, even with that make from Destiny Henderson.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
And Boston nabbing another rebound. 19 now to go along with her 13 points.
Foul number 12, Jordan Merritt. That's a point.
Well, you mentioned that transfer portal news coming out of Starkville with Rakia Jackson putting her name in the running of transfer picks, if you will. Kean Green. That was a huge
loss
blow
for them. Yeah, I mean,
for Tennessee.
they lost on Thursday to Auburn, and definitely a disappointing game for Tennessee. And losing Kean Green was, I think, maybe rattled them a little bit. But also, when they did the top 16 reveal, we had 4 SEC teams in there. South Carolina, LSU, Georgia. Who am I forgetting at 2?
Yeah, and Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yep. And they'll be back in action Monday against Arkansas. Remember, coming up, we've got some more games. Of course, we'll see Kentucky and LSU on our network next.
This is the postseason resume for Florida right now. Charlie Cream has them a projected 11 seed, so there's probably 4 bubble teams right now in the SEC, right? They're all going to kind of claw and try to tear each other down so that they can get into the NCAA tournament. But Florida's resume, I feel like, with the fact that they've got 3 wins against ranked teams, 64 in the net, you know, they're going to have opportunities. Their next game, obviously, against Tennessee, if South Carolina closes this game out, and then Georgia. So, opportunity to improve their seeding, but I think there's a lot to grow from. You highlight the fact that they've outscored South Carolina in the second half, excuse me. Obviously, the learning lesson is you can't do that against the #1 team in the country. You got to have full 40 minutes, right? But there's some positives that Florida can take away. They just were ice cold in the first half. Such a big margin to come back from.
The foul and the bucket for Kiki Smith.
Fans came to see fight, and we've seen it from the Gators in the second half, led by Kiki Smith, 21 points. Remember, she was held in check that first half. Difference maker in the second.
She had 5 in that first half, to your point, Steffi. Now with 22 on the game. Their parents were hoping for a different type of outcome, obviously trying to slay the great giant that is South Carolina. Will come up short, but good effort here today. Meanwhile, South Carolina continuing to put win after win together. When the clock hits all zeros, they will lead the SEC temporarily with an 8-1 record. Woo. Stolen away by Merritt. Whistle, and she'll get a couple of shots.
Tiffany, just continue to be impressed with the fight that we saw now in the fourth quarter by Florida. I'm not a math expert. That's 13 points, correct? You look back, you didn't get blown out by South Carolina. You fought in the second half.
Yeah.
That's room to grow from. I know Kelly Rae Finley will make those points moving forward.
Yeah, it was South Carolina that led by as many as 28 in this ball game, and they trimmed it down. They kept it close enough and gave their best effort. Meanwhile, the top-ranked team in the country may not have walked away with the win in the fashion that Dawn Staley would have liked to close out the ball game, but a dub is a dub no matter what. And it's 8 in a row for top-ranked South Carolina, who led wire to wire in Gainesville as they won 14 straight against the Gators. For Steffi Sorensen, I'm Tiffany Green. We'll send it back to the studio with Peter and Andrea.